Good afternoon. It is the 7th day of July. If you like Saba Saba, my name is Boni Tunya and this is KTN NewsDesk.
My name is Edith Kimani. We are going to kick off our bulletin with that particular story at Uhuru Park. Let's have a look at what's going on shortly. As Boni Tunya said, it's the 7th day of the 7th month of 2014, also known as Saba Saba. But this day gained prominence on May 31st when former Prime Minister Raila Odinga flew back into the country from a sabbatical in Boston. Now, when he came back, he held a rally and made a demand for national dialogue with the current government, saying that he would like to discuss, among other things, security and corruption. On that was a 60-day ultimatum, which was pegged and it expires today, where he promised to hold a massive rally at on Saba Saba Day, that's today, at Uhuru Park grounds. And that's precisely where we kick off this bulletin with our reporter, Rita Tinina, who's currently on the grounds. Rita, the last time we saw you, the mood at the stadium was completely different from what we're seeing on the CBD.
Well, Edith, here at Uhuru Park, court supporters started gathering here from early as 8:30 in the morning, and since then it has been song and dance as they wait for their leaders to arrive. In the last few minutes, several leaders have been here. Senators, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, as well as James Orengo have been here, basically urging the supporters to be patient, saying that court leaders Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, as well as Moses Wetangula will be here in the next 1 hour. So it has been peaceful, basically. And for you to access Uhuru Park, all the entries to my left, that is the one opposite the Serena Hotel, to my right opposite the Railway Club, and also the entrance in front of me, that is to Uhuru Highway, are manned by police officers. NYS officers are doing a security check on everyone who is accessing Uhuru Park, but it also appears that some supporters managed to get into Uhuru Park with stones. At around 12:30, there was some confrontation with the police. The police fired around several times in the air to try and calm down the supporters who were throwing stones here and there. But basically everything here is peaceful. Supporters are waiting for their leaders to arrive here at Uhuru Park. Yesterday, the leaders saying that their supporters will maintain peace. Remember last week, the government saying that the court leaders will be held personally responsible for anything, any chaos that happened today. They also assured that nothing, basically no violence will be here. Kalonzo Musyoka urging the supporters to all carry white handkerchiefs as a sign of peace. Remember, court says today's meeting is a direct response to the failure by the government to hold national dialogue. Court leaders are making several demands. Among them, they want the disbandment of the IEBC. They also want the government to tackle corruption, insecurity, and tribalism, among other things. When the court leaders toured Uhuru Park last Thursday, I was here and we posed to them a question: what happens next after Saba Saba, after today? Remember, they have been holding several rallies in various parts of the country. Yesterday, they were in Machakos. On Saturday, court leaders were in Kisumu. On Friday, they held a rally in Bungoma and Kisii. And before that, several other rallies in different parts of the country, including in Tononoka, in Mombasa. And throughout, they have kept their post-Saba Saba game plan a secret. And so perhaps today we'll wait to see or wait for an announcement to hear whether they will announce what they plan to do next after today. Edith.
Rita, now I'm aware that you are at Uhuru Park, but having been in the CBD earlier, could you please describe to us what the scene is like? There were reports of people closing their businesses, people not going to work. Is this the situation still?
Edith, I cannot make any sense of what you're trying to say. The noise here, supporters are still singing and dancing. Perhaps we'll get back to you in a short while.
All right, well, that's Rita Tinina, who is at Uhuru Park. Unfortunately, it's quite loud where she is. But from what she said, everything seems to be very calm. They're still waiting for the court leaders to arrive. Earlier on, a very small incident where supporters of quad managed to get into the stadium with stones, but that was sorted. I believe we now have our other senior reporter, Asha Muilu, who is standing by just to give us commentary. Okay, we don't have her yet, so let's move to the courts and see what's happening. This is still significant in terms of what's happening today. The Coalition for Reforms and Democracy has been instructed to serve Nairobi Senator Mike Sonko with a court order first before the court can reverse an order that was issued last week blocking CORD leaders from calling for mass action during today's Saba Saba rally. Now, in the order, Justice Isaac Lenaola barred CORD leaders Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Moses Wetangula from calling or purporting to call mass action, holding CORD leaders personally responsible for any violence that may occur during or after the rally at Uhuru Park.
Parties appeared before Justice Lenaola, where an application was filed by one Senator Mike Sonko, in which he sought to stop the CORD rallies that were to mark the Saba Saba events today, and orders were entered in which consent was recorded by the courts, restraining the court principals and holding them personally liable for any incident that may occur arising out of the rally today. We have today filed an application that has been signed by Senator Johnston Muthama as the chief whip of the CORD coalition, seeking to set aside, vary, or to stay the implementation of those orders. We shall be asking the courts to find that you cannot enter a consent that on the face of it is unconstitutional. We are saying that notwithstanding the fact that this order was as a result of consent, one, it was as a result of duress. Number two, it clearly flies in the face of provisions under the Constitution, in particular Articles 36 and 37 of the Constitution.
With the much-anticipated CORD Saba Saba rally underway, the government has stayed true to their word on matter security. Now, there is a strong police presence both at Uhuru Park and in strategic points in and around the city, with more than 15,000 police officers deployed to man the various points in Nairobi. But heavy security forces notwithstanding, the day is marked by uncharacteristically light traffic in various parts of the city as a number of Kenyans opted to remain indoors during the event. But not the youth who started making their way to Uhuru Park early in the morning, carrying placards and chanting tunes of allegiance to CORD. It is, however, business as usual for a section of workers and businessmen in the city who opted to carry on with work, citing assurance that all will be well.
Sasa wale wakifunga na sisi tufunge, na biashara ni yetu. Serikali iko na sisi, tunajua kuna security, kwa hivyo lazima tungekuwa kazi. Na serikali tunajua vizuri iko na security, kwa hivyo lazima tungekuja.
Hata makastoma ndo wameniamusha because wanaitisha vitu hata kuliko kawaida, hata nikashindwa kwa leo kuna Saba Saba kweli ile nilikuwa nasikia. So nikaamua nisiwa disappoint, nikaingia mtaani, nikatoka mtaani nikakuja tao niweze kuwaserve juu amepiga simu kadhaa.
That's the situation in Nairobi. Let's now cross over to Kisumu and find out what's happening. While security is tight ahead of the Saba Saba rally that's expected to be held at Uhuru Park in Nairobi, with anti-riot and paramilitary units patrolling the city of Kisumu and quelling any acts that could lead to looting and violence. Now, a mini rally was expected at the Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground, but so far there are no signs of it taking place as no CORD officials have turned up. Fred Omulo is monitoring the situation from Kisumu and he filed the following report.
Tension gripped Kisumu city today morning ahead of the Saba Saba rally scheduled to take place in Nairobi. The main bus terminus remained deserted as most long-distance buses suspended their services, while Matatu stayed away from the roads. Rowdy youths' attempts to block roads and cause mayhem were dealt with swiftly, with police patrolling the entire city and preventing chaos.
Sasa sahi tuko hapa tunangoja hotuba ya Raila. Kitu atasema mtaona tu baadaye. Hii hali ya saa hii mnaona ni hali ya tulivu, lakini sisi raia hatuko utulivu. Polisi ndio wametanda hapa. Hata polisi wakitoka hapa saa hii mtaona tuko sabasaba. Polisi,
lakini saa hizi kuna tension mob sana. Lakini tunaomba ya kwamba ama askari watolewe hapa, wapelekwe huko Mpeketoni na Lamu na wapi. Hapa hivi hakuna vita. Sijui tunawanangoja nini, lakini hao wakizidi kukaa hapa watafanya tuanze kufanya vitu zingine yenye ifai.
At Kondele, an uneasy standoff developed between the police and curious groups of residents hanging around the busy intersection. Shops, offices and schools also remain closed as most residents here stay at home, nervously awaiting the outcome of what will transpire in Nairobi. For now, the cat and mouse game between lawbreakers and the police continues, but what is clear is that everyone is waiting for the proclamation that will come from the Saba Saba rally in Nairobi. Fredo Mulo, KTN, Kisumu City.
Elsewhere, business at the port city of Mombasa went on uninterrupted, although heavy police presence was seen in various places.
The streets were, however, deserted, with traders recording little business. Matatu operators also complained of fewer commuters, with most schools remaining deserted.
Mombasa County Commissioner Nelson Marwa has, however, assured residents that police are in charge and anyone caught breaking the law will be arrested.
Hali unaiona katika mji, watu wengi wana wasiwasi, maduka mengi yamefungwa. Ushaona kwa sababu gani yamefungwa? Kwa sababu hawaamini kwamba serikali inaweza kuwapatia usalama. Leo ni kama Jumapili ukiangalia mji leo. Ushaona nini? Kwa sababu ya meeting itakayofanywa Nairobi. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali iwe na msimamo katika masuala ya security.
Kidogo inaonekana ina hali ya wasiwasi, watu kidogo si wengi, kuna baadhi pia magari si mengi. Sehemu kama vile Bamburi, Mshomoloni, pia maduka yafunguliwa kwa wingi sana kama kawaida. Lakini kitu ambacho tunaomba si ni amani.
Mimi nimefungua kazi, isipokuwa watu ndo hawako town, wameogopa hii joto huku na kule. Lakini mimi nimefungua kazi, watu wanakuja mmoja mmoja, wengine wameogopa hawajakuja, wafanyabiashara wengine hawajafungua kazi.
Right, we are just about to pay the bills now, but on the other half of this show, we'll give you an update of yesterday's attack in Hindi and Gamba, where more than 21 people lost their lives. We'll be having Ferdinand Omondi reporting from that part of the country.
Well, do stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back. You're watching KTN NewsDesk. We'll continue to bring you an update of what's happening around the country. But away from Saba Saba, Sunday, 21 people were killed in Gamba of Tana River and Hindi in Lamu County. Yesterday, the Deputy President was in that place where he condemned the killings. But Ferdinand Omondi joins me now by way of phone with an update of the situation in that part of the country. Ferdinand, what is the situation now?
Good afternoon. I am right now at the Hindi shopping center, and people are living here in the hundreds. It is a mass exodus in spite of all the assurances that the state has given. A lot of people are saying that promises which they have now described as songs, and they say that they are leaving this place. I spoke to quite a few of them, and they're saying some of them have known this place to be their home for the past 30 years or 20 years, but then they have to leave because according to the persons who were carrying out the killings, they were being asked to leave, and they're doing exactly that because they feel they are not really safe here. I've spoken to the area chief, the principal chief of Lamu West, who is saying that also people have taken advantage of the situation to spread more rumors. As a matter of fact, there was an operation early this morning carried out by GSU personnel and other government security organs on the back of intelligence or information that there were some attacks carried out this morning. They turned out to be a false alarm, and there was very furious chief telling persons to make sure that they give information which is accurate based on what they've seen and not hearsay. But the bottom line is that there is a lot of tension from all the way from Mokoe, that's just at the border of the Lamu archipelago, all the way to Witu. And here in Hindi, people are living in the hundreds. Buses have been gathering people from morning, and even as I stand now, there are still heaps of persons, their luggage, waiting for the next available bus so that they can get out of here.
Ferdinand, very quickly, do we know where these people are heading to? And have there been any arrests made so far from the last time you reported it last night?
I have not heard of any arrests yet. We haven't received any such information, but we do know that police are combing the forest around because there is a huge belief that the attackers are not very far away from here. So there have not been any arrests made. The people are departing. Some of them are going to the safety of the place in Mombasa, but I have spoken to a woman whose husband was killed last night, actually burned alive. And she said she's going as far as Thika, where there are other relatives there. So people there are those who also told me that they have relatives out there, and they're trying to see some temporary shelter there. Another thing is that people are not really sleeping in their homes here. The GK prison in Hindi is hosting people. We have information that at least 200 families spent last night in the confines of the prison, where they now feel a bit safer than out there.
Ferdinand, yesterday we had the government saying the MRC were responsible for this attack. A little while later we had the Al-Shabaab claiming responsibility. What do you make of this latest development?
Well, this latest development points to a mix of certain factors. It does look like a terrorist attack, but on the other hand, there are very specific undertones that suggest that there could be some form of cleansing, bearing in mind that persons were reportedly being asked their identification cards, perhaps making some recitations to do with some holy books, but at the same time there's the other angle where the persons were reportedly being told to leave this area. This is not their home. And I've spoken to Amzei here who was saying they're asking us to go. Where do we go? This is where we have known to be home. So even if it is a terrorist attack, Bonnie, there is a very strong possibility, as the government is alleging, that there could be some sort of perhaps political or ethnic undertones to it, not specifically targeting a specific community, but just a large cross-section of people who perhaps are not deemed to be here. But this is subject to investigation. Hopefully something will come out. But if you speak to a lot of the people who've been affected, they say they're being targeted because of who they are, not necessarily a terrorist attack.
All right, Ferdinand Omondi, as that report unfolds, more questions and very few answers coming. I've been speaking to Ferdinand Omondi, who is in Lamu, where he's reporting last night's killing in the area of Hindi in Lamu and Gamba in Tana River.
Let's now go back to Uhuru Park, which is a culmination of what was a 60-day ultimatum for President Uhuru Kenyatta to sit down and have a dialogue with Court leader Raila Odinga. Well, that didn't happen, and now there's a rally, and of course bearing a lot of historical significance in terms of Kenya's history. Remember in 1990, it was a day when there were a lot of pre-democracy protests against the then government, which had cracked down on various freedoms, including the right of assembly. Well, Asha Mwilu joins me now. I'm not sure if she's able to hear me, but Asha, if you can just give us an outlook of what's happening right now. You do seem to be in a place that's extremely electric in terms of the energy.
Edith, you can certainly see that Uhuru Park is now beginning to fill up. We're seeing some of the fields here, Kenyans coming in and sitting down, a lot of CORD supporters. If you've been following some of our tweets on KTN Kenya under the hashtag Siasa Saba Saba, you've been seeing some of the things that we've been informing you about right before this moment. We had quite a showdown 30 minutes ago from that side between a section of the crowd and police officers on that other side of Uhuru Park. The thing is, this is a very difficult rally for CORD to manage, and it's clearly being seen because it's being mixed up. Some of their supporters are here, and you can never know which hooligans have come to Uhuru Park. So their homework today is how they're going to get the message across to this crowd and, of course, to Kenyans, with having a mixed crowd right here in Uhuru Park. But what I've been trying to do is that I've come here, you can see it's very calm. The people behind me sitting down waiting for the CORD leaders to get here so that they can get the message on this Saba Saba Day. What next? That's what most Kenyans here want to know. What next after today? And most certainly, how is today going to change things in the country? So I've been speaking to quite a number of people, and I'm going to bring in one person right here so that we can just hear some of the supporters here, what they have to say, and some of their opinions about what's been going on in the country. Karibu, habari yako?
Mzuri kabisa.
Jina lako ni?
Naitwa Amos Nyamwaya.
Na wewe ni supporter wa CORD?
Mimi ni supporter wa CORD kidamu kabisa.
Yeah. So, kwa nini umekuja hapo Uhuru Park leo?
Uhuru Park iko na haki ya kuja Uhuru Park, na kwa sababu ya maisha ya mwananchi wa kawaida yamekuwa magumu. Ndio maana tumekuja huku tuone kama viongozi wetu tutawatuma waongee na wale watu wetu wale wako pande ya serikali, tuone kama maisha yetu itarudi chini.
Yeah. Lakini Wakenya wengi wamekuwa wakisema kuwa CORD opposition wameweka yani nchi imesimama, hakuna maendeleo kwa sababu ya rally kama hii. Unakubaliana nao?
Sikubaliana nao kwa sababu CORD imetumika kama upinzani kuangalia serikali mahali inaenda mulama kidogo, ndio watusaidie kama si wananchi wa kawaida tusio tunaumia. Ndio maana upinzani inakuanga katika nchi yetu. Yeah.
Asante sana Nyamwea. That's Nyamwea, CORD supporter, and I've been speaking to quite a few here. The thing is that people do understand the issues that have been raised, but what a lot of supporters here are expecting to see today is how CORD is going to put those issues forward, and most importantly, the way forward. I mean, what's the way forward for Kenya after Saba Saba, after today, what's going to happen? And of course, CORD leaders making their way here to Uhuru Park will be knowing very soon what's happening. A lot of people come here, they want to talk, they want to give their views, but of course we only have limited time for just quite a few views. Obviously, in our later bulletins, we'll be giving you an outlook of what happened here in Uhuru Park. But as for now, we're waiting to see what next from the CORD leaders, and most certainly what their next step will be and how they're going to address the issues that they've raised, and if Jubilee will agree to have national dialogue with them. Edith, back to you in studio.
Well, thank you very much, Asha Mwilu, having an easier time than Rita Tinina did earlier on, just bringing us up to date on what's happening with regard to the Saba Saba Day rally at Uhuru Park. But what exactly is the situation like in Eldoret? Well, Masi Kandi has all the details with Boni Tunya.
Right, and the stage is at Uhuru Park, but there are different meetings convened in different parts of the country. Let's bring in Masi Kandi, who's joining us live from Eldoret. Masi, what is the situation there?
Yes, thank you very much, Boni Tunya. And like most counties in the region, Uasin Gishu County is calm, business as usual. There's air surveillance currently happening by the county commander, Nyaga Muchugu, the AP director and the director of CID. They are using a chopper to what they call to do an air surveillance of the county. Uasin Gishu County is among the few counties that have been accorded air surveillance, including Nakuru County. So they've visited Kimumu, Munyaka, Matunda, Juakali, Banforest, and they say business as usual. There's calm, there's peace, and yes, everyone is going about their duties. There's another surveillance that will happen at around 4 p.m. And also the county governor spoke to us early morning, and he said, yes, there's no rally in the region, but yes, there is peace in Uasin Gishu County. Tunya?
And Masi, what is the situation like on the roads of Eldoret? Do we see a lot of police presence there?
Oh yes, Tunya, there's a lot of police presence within the town. This includes the General Service Units, the GSU, police, and also the AP. Security has been beefed up within Eldoret town. Tunya?
Do you have, Masi, you might not know this, but do you have the numbers of the kind of police reinforcement or the numbers that have been increased against what is normal in that area?
Oh, no. But yes, on a daily basis, Tunya, within Eldoret town, you would not just randomly walk and meet police officers. But yes, in specific points, there are the police officers that have been deployed. On a daily basis, you wouldn't meet GSU or the AP just walking around the streets. But yes, that has been heightened. I do not have the exact numbers, but security has been beefed up within Eldoret town. Tunya?
Right, great. That has been Masi Kandi coming to us by way of telephone from Eldoret, where she's reporting of peace and business as usual in that part of the country.
And that's where we wrap up the coverage on Saba Saba. Obviously, the conversation continues on our Twitter handle. It's hashtag Siasa Saba Saba. Tell us where you are. What are you witnessing? Is there anything we need to know so that we can be able to give you comprehensive coverage on this?
Also, do share with us the pictures of what is happening in your situation. If the situation is peaceful and calm, share with us also those pictures. We'll be more than glad.